Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Game on Cloud 9 here, and today I'm here to bring you guys a Bleach Manga 559 prediction. Alright, this chapter of Bleach this week mainly focused on vengeance dealing with Komamura. We all know Komamura, he's been really pissed off since Yamamoto died, obviously. That's why he went through this training process, and he got this huge power boost, which I have to say, the drawback to it kind of makes me debate on whether or not I even consider him to be, like, on the top tier list, like probably some would like to throw him on right now. But anyway, the chapter, of course, starts off with us seeing Bambietta, of course, after Komamura slashed at the end of the chapter. And apparently the bombs that she had used against Komamura are flying back at her and basically, exploding on top of her, because we all know that the bombs that she was using couldn't actually explode on Komamura's Bankai due to it just being made out of pure reishi and not being anything living. Right after that, of course, she pretty much was done. Then we get to a scene where Komamura is basically in deep thought about vengeance and how he's doing virtually the same thing as Tosin, as his grandfather points out, and that, he's really no different, and that he comes from a clan based on vengeance. So, he's basically reflecting in his head about, is this really, the right thing? Because he's trying to gun straight for Juhabak. He wanted to take out Juhabak right after. But sadly enough, he wasn't able to do that because he immediately starts turning into this wolf, actually, like a full-fledged wolf. We already know Komamura's already like semi-wolf, or he's always been like a wolf-like figure, but now he's like all on all fours, just like his grandfather. And his grandfather even goes on saying now basically he's becoming just like, I guess you'd say how his clan is, and he's going to end up being a voiceless beast. And from that point on, of course, then we see Tetsuzaimon, his vice captain, walk up. He grabs Komamura, throws him over his back, and he's like, "Come on, Captain, let's do this." And then we get to the end of the chapter, and we see Rukia and Renji coming down on Soul Society. And I also forgot Bambietta right before that. Of course, she's pretty much laid out, finished almost. And, we see her... a lot of her the girls that were hanging around her earlier on, her comrades, come up, which they didn't seem like comrades in that particular scene. They ask, they ask her, "Oh, poor Bambietta, are you okay?" And she already knew something's about to go down, because she immediately she's like, "Don't do this, Gigi, don't do this." And that's pretty much, when they probably killed her off, probably finished her. I don't know if they've been planning it. I have a feeling that probably one of the members out of that group is probably stronger than her. Maybe has been holding back, because Kubo has a thing about always like mixing up or making us think one person is stronger than the other. And she's one of the first Vandenreich members to be taken out. So I definitely have a lot of expectations maybe that some of the letters are actually going to be, I guess, switched around, or we're going to think one person is stronger and, really it's another person that's stronger, because he did that with some of the Espada. But anyway, the end of the chapter shows Rukia and Renji basically coming down, and I think it was Renji that made a comment like, "Oh, there's a Soul Society," and Rukia corrects him like, "Well, more like the Vandenreich, right now at least." And that's the end of the chapter. Now, as far as my thoughts on the entire chapter goes, because I know that was kind of a quick synopsis, I felt a little bit bad for Komamura, because he did go through a lot right now. He attained this huge power boost. But at the same time, the drawbacks, and I have to say, I like how it's called Dangai Johei, because I know everybody likes the unofficial term for Ichigo's Bankai when he fought against Aizen is I guess his Dangai Bankai, or Dangai Ichigo, like everybody likes to call him. So I kind of find it funny, because it's almost like I know this isn't the actual case, but it almost seems like when people transfer their Bankais or transform them, you could almost call it a Dangai. I don't know, me and a few friends talked about that, so I don't know, it's just some food for thought. Maybe Kubo could go ahead and start giving that an official term when people transfer their Bankais, and maybe it's referred to as a Dangai or something, I don't know. Just a random thought I wanted to throw out to some of you guys. But as far as Komamura goes, I felt a little bad for what he went through, obviously, and that he's basically living up to what Tosin was all about. Tosin was about justice, but at the same time, he was, more on the vengeful side. Of course, he ended up teaming up with Aizen, and you see what it did to him. And now we see Komamura basically succumb to a similar scenario, except Komamura didn't officially die, but he can't really do anything anymore either. He can't even pick up his Zanpakuto. So it does make you feel for the character a little bit. I would have liked this fight to be extended a little bit longer. I don't know about some of you guys, but I feel like I know the Vandenreich members have been shown to be very powerful already, but I kind of felt like for something like this that maybe it should have went on maybe an extra chapter or two, at least in my opinion. I'm not saying we needed long, drawn-out fights or anything like that, especially since there's a lot of other fights that should be shown, but I would have liked to see a little bit more of a struggle between Bambietta and Komamura, because at the end of the day, you know, she still was kind of, well, at least based on letter, on the higher side of things. She should have been one of the stronger Vandenreich members, and just to see her go out like that was like, okay, you know, I mean, I don't know. I expected her to do a little bit more than what she did, is all I'm trying to say. You know, because it seemed like as soon as he went Bankai, he showed that off. That was pretty much it. And it wasn't like we saw that much of the first fight between the two. So it wasn't like we had seen him giving her, or her giving him a complete slaughter. It almost seems like, you know, pretty much first, like for us, it's basically the first confrontation that we've actually seen. So I would have liked to see, I don't know, more of a struggle between the two, you know, so it would have been a little bit more entertaining. It was entertaining when we got that huge surprise of him going Bankai, but in this week's chapter, I was just slightly disappointed with her getting taken out so quickly, is all I'm trying to say. Now, as far as, you know, was that good or bad? You know, I mean, I'll let you be the judge of that, but I think it should have been extended a little bit longer, in my opinion. Now, for the end of the chapter, which is what I really want to talk about, because, of course, Bambietta is probably dead now. This is kind of leads into my prediction for the future chapters based on the cliffhanger. We see Rukia and Renji coming down. So, I'm kind of wondering, now, just hear me out on this. Now, Rukia is one of my favorite characters in Bleach. Alright, I'm not saying because of what she can do. I just like the character. She's been around since the beginning. Anything that happens with Rukia and Ichigo, I always feel like it's very nostalgic, and, you know, I really like those moments between the two. So, I'm hoping, I don't know if this is the case at all, but Kubo, give her a Bankai. I mean, I'm not saying she has to have the strongest Bankai in the world, but since she did train with the Royal Guard, I hope somebody sat down with her, said, you know what, you need to get a Bankai so she can at least be worth something in this war. I mean, her brother's Byakuya Kuchiki. He doesn't have his Bankai right now. I would like Rukia and Renji to step it up to the plate and actually be able to... Well, then again, no, Byakuya does have his Bankai right now. I almost forgot. But since he got his butt whooped earlier, I would kind of like for Rukia and Renji to kind of show Byakuya, hey, you know, we stepping our game up too. We got your back. You ain't going to have to fight on your own. You're not going to have to protect us. So that's what I'm expecting to see from these two characters, especially since, you know, she looked kind of badass with the goggles on coming down, and she was all covered up. At least to me, she looked badass. So, I don't know. Maybe Rukia will have a Bankai. I expect something because I pretty much, from her Shikai, I think she's learned all the moves that she probably can learn. I mean, she knows the first dance with Shinayuki? I forgot how you pronounce the last part, but she's learned all the different dances, the first dance, the second dance, and then the third dance where we like reform the blade. So I actually would like for her to, you know, maybe have like some particular Bankai, or maybe she ends up like, I don't know, creating some kind of frozen snowy tundra or something. I mean, obviously Hitsugaya has the whole ice thing now. She's never going to be on Hitsugaya's level. You know, Hitsugaya is my second favorite character, in case some of you guys didn't know that. But I still want to see her do something badass, you know, with a Bankai. Something. You know, it doesn't have to be as strong as Renji's or Byakuya's, but just show some use of her. Because the Shikai in this particular battle, to me, isn't going to cut it. I mean, if Komamura has to basically become immortal and stay like that for like 5 or 10 minutes and then lose his powers and not ever be able to speak again, which, by the way, I kind of feel like that drawback is, even though he is immortal for a little bit, I feel like it's like the power, he wasn't as powerful as I would have thought, or how would I put this? The power boost that he got, to me, wasn't huge enough for him to have the drawback that he did. Yes, he was immortal for a little bit, but it wasn't like he was on Bankai at Ichigo's level, in my opinion, for him to be literally turning into like a voiceless beast and all that. So, I mean, I feel like, man, I would have probably only used it if I was like fighting against Juhabak. I would have tried to figure something out against Bambietta. I don't even feel like that was worth it, but, you know, that's just my opinion. But as far as, back to Rukia. Yeah, Rukia, hope she gets something special. I'm thinking next chapter as far as, where it's actually going to lead off to. Since Kubo showed that as like the cliffhanger, I don't think he's going to jump right into that. I mean, there's a chance that he may lead into it, but I'm thinking that he's probably not. We may get a flash over to maybe Hitsugaya, or probably, I know Elite Ace actually said in his review that maybe we'll get a flash over to Hashwald and Kiraku, which I probably actually have to agree with, probably go over there, because we haven't seen them in a minute. I'm pretty sure he's going to want to hold on to Rukia and Renji. We may see them in the latter half of the chapter, like towards the end, but beginning, I can't really see it too much. Because obviously you want to try to stretch out something like that in your story a lot, because he knows the fans are anticipated to see what these characters are going to do. That's why he's covering them up and trying to give them a hint of mystery in it. So we'll see where he goes with that, but I do have expectations that they're going to do some pretty great stuff. I know some don't, but for the Royal Guard to take them up in their palace and give them all this different stuff in a power boost, I expect they're probably going to be pretty decent assets at the very least in this particular battle. Enough to where they're probably going to actually handle some Vanderite members. Now, as far as Chad and Orihime, I can't tell you. I mean, yeah, they were training with Urahara, but I feel like Urahara would have to drug them up or something in order to make them decent. I mean, Orihime has an ability that could really do some damage if she actually utilize it in an offensive way. And you guys know the time-space regression move. I mean, if she freaking did that whatever you call it, I forgot what the official name for the time-space regression move, what it actually is, but if she did that and did it over like an entire area, like miles away, and just like concentrated, kept a barrier to where you couldn't escape, and just like rejected an entire area, like in like not an instant, but let's say, I don't know, at a faster rate than she actually does it, she would be on some OP stuff. I mean, her ability, the nature of it's pretty OP, but the way she uses it is obviously mainly for healing purposes, and sometimes people get messed up, she may bring them back or whatnot. So I don't know, but that's pretty much mostly what I had to say about this week's Bleach chapter. Probably we'll get a little bit of Rukia and Renji maybe towards the middle of the chapter, or maybe middle endish, so probably around maybe chapter 10. Bleach may go on hiatus the week after next. The only reason I say that because I noticed that a lot of these manga are going on hiatus, like Naruto's going on hiatus for about a month until the next issue. One Piece is. And I'm not saying Bleach is going to follow exactly, the same path, but there's always that chance. I'm just giving everybody a forewarning that, next week's chapter of Bleach may be the last one for maybe a few weeks. We'll see. Not really much else to say other than the beginning half. Don't think we're going to see Komamura probably for a minute now that he's been into this. Maybe we'll even get a little bit of Kenpachi next week. I doubt that. I mean, that's something that Kubo's going to hold on to. But yeah, probably some Kiraku, and, maybe another battle will begin towards the end of next week's chapter. So this is my straight-up prediction. Kiraku in the beginning, maybe Rukia and Renji in the middle, and towards the end, maybe a fight actually ensues. Something actually starts to happen. I mean, we'll see what happens, but these are my thoughts as far as this week's Bleach chapter goes. My rating, pacing was pretty good in this week's Bleach chapter. I kind of felt like this fight should have been extended as a whole a little bit more, but I'm not going to go ahead and hurt the chapter like on a grand scale because of that, because it's not like a lot needed to happen. I just feel like it should have been a little bit more of a struggle. So, I'm just going to say, overall, the chapter was okay with a pretty good cliffhanger. So, and the pacing was pretty good. So, I'm just going to give it a captain level. I mean, Bleach has been getting those usually anyway. I know some of you guys are probably thinking like, man, you've been giving it consistent captain level ratings. Well, a couple weeks ago I gave it a Royal Guard rating, but these are basically my thoughts. This is my analysis on this week's Bleach chapter. Just let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you disagree with me, that's fine. Just tell me what you think about it. And don't forget to subscribe. So that's pretty much it for this week's Bleach review / prediction, whatever you want to call it. Thank you for watching. Hope Rukia gets a Bankai, and I'll see you later.